Aaron Robbins here with Fully Beta, and today we're talking about everybody's favorite subject, 9-slice sprites. And that is because we're going to do a quick tutorial series here on how to use the Unity UI and Canvas system. And before we get into pause and resume with countdown and all that kind of stuff, we got to make some better looking buttons. So since we love voxel art, I thought it'd be fun to recreate the Crossy Road buttons. So let's do that really quickly. I will have this PSD available on the website. It's just simply a 64 by 64. You see, I typed 64 there. It's just a 64 by 64 pixel canvas with a big old white border around it, and then I put the color on its own layer and the shadow on its own layer so that you can usually go in here, use the color overlay to change the button color, and you'll still get the drop shadow on it or whatever. So as soon as you find the color you like or that you want to use for your game, you don't need to worry about making the button the size of your button in your game because it's a 9-slice. Unity is going to expand and contract the middle part, and it's going to resize these the horizontal and the vertical part of it to match the size that you need. So once you get that done, just at 64 by 64, we're going to go ahead and hit export. We'll do quick export as PNG or save for web if you're on an older version of Photoshop. You definitely want to put that inside your assets folder in your game project. So here's my Unity demo game project. You want to go inside this assets folder here. Where you put it from, once you're inside the assets folder doesn't matter. I'm going to put mine in a little more organized spot, and that's not it. It's the UI assets folder that I created in there. And I'll just call that clicky button.png. That works perfectly. You can save out different colored versions of that. So now we'll go back into Unity, and you can see our clicky button came there. There's just a few things we have to do to it really quickly. First, let's go ahead and select it, and then over in the inspector, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we are doing point or no filtering. We're going to turn off generate MIP maps. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to override, and instead of compressed, we're going to do 16 bits or true color. It doesn't really matter right now which one you pick. Then hit apply. Got that? So we don't want any filter on it. What this does is it kind of cleans up the image and makes it look more sharp. So there's no compression on it or anything like that. Okay, cool. So the last thing that you want to do is go to the Sprite Editor. And this is where we're actually going to define the border of our 9 slices. And I will show you that really quickly. If I go up here and select my pause button, and instead of the image for the pause button, which is this component right here on this pause button game object, if I go ahead and drag the clicky button in there right now, it changed the image type to simple right there. And I'm like, nah, this isn't simple. This is super complex, man. This is a sliced image. So I change it to slice, and then I get this warning saying this image doesn't have a border. And you're like, it does too have a border. Look at this big white border right here. And so what Unity is really saying is not that you have not made a border on your image, but you have not told Unity or defined, if you will, where that border is. And that's why we need to select this guy right here and go to the Sprite Editor and define where that border is. So that warning will go away. So you'll see these little colored points here at the top left and bottom and right. What you want to do is drag them to the area that you would like Unity to not scale for you. So example, I want this corner here to not be scaled. I want it to stay the way it is. And then I'll drag the left edge in here to right there. And then I've created this little section of the graphic here that will not get scaled when Unity stretches the image. I'll do the same thing for this side. I'll bring this one in to match that line. And then the drop shadow one is a little bit weirder because instead of going down here where the border is, we'll go up to where the drop shadow is. Now Unity will expand this middle part. See this middle square here? Unity's going to expand that horizontally and vertically. It'll expand this section just vertically, same here, and these just horizontally. But it'll leave the corners intact. Okay, so that's sort of how the 9 slices work, and the last thing you need to make sure you definitely do is hit apply. So we'll hit apply, and then we can close out of the Sprite Editor, and now our button is not all stretched and weird like that, and also the warning has gone away if we select the pause button. You can see we're on sliced and there's no warning. So let's do that to our resume button really quickly. We'll go ahead and open the resume button, and it's just using the UI sprite, so we'll drag that in there. And there we have that button. And it looks like it did scale some of the drop shadow here. So let's go into this guy and fix that really quickly. And you can see why it scaled it is because the border did not match. It left some overlap here. Some of the drop shadow is showing into the part that Unity will scale horizontally. So we actually need to drag these guys over just one more, and if we hit apply, it will update our button. And now we can close this, and we can see that it's all fixed now. Now the drop shadows match. And the last one we'll do is just this quit button here, but instead of dragging it up there, we'll select the target icon and then just choose it from here. So you just got it, you just double click on it, and it's updated there for you. And we can go back and do the same thing with our main menu and change our text color. This is not technically part of the tutorial. This is extra tutorial activity right here, but this definitely needs to be white. There you go. That is how to make a 9-slice sprite for use in Unity. I'm going to put the clicky button PSD on the website so you can take it and use it for whatever you want. Stick around for more tutorials in this ever exciting UI main menu pause and resume and quit tutorial series. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, hit the subscribe button. Keep watching. Keep making games, guys. See you later.